Meanwhile, Peter followed him at a distance and came to the high priest's courtyard. He went in and sat with the guards and waited to see how it would all end.
And this is how we all Christians are. We're just in the crowd, seeing how people are seeing Jesus on trial. We're just in the crowd, lost in the crowd, just going around seeing what people are saying about Jesus. What are people talking about Jesus? We're just there. We're just quiet. You know, when people are talking about church, they're talking about, you know, God's stuff. You're just in the crowd, just listening. You know, you don't want them to find you out. You know, you're just among them. You know, and Jesus is on trial, and you're just following in the crowd. You're just lost in the crowd. Keep going.
Inside, the leading priest and the entire high council were trying to find witnesses who would lie about Jesus.
Wait. They have a high council in the house. At night, they're looking for witness. Hey, go knock on somebody's door. See if they can come over and witness. Hey, go look for somebody. At night, they're looking for witness. Like, we finally got this Jesus. We need to find somebody. Anybody, please, somebody come in and talk about Jesus. Come in. Go ahead.
So they could put him to death.
Yeah.
But even though they found many who agreed to give false witness, they could not use anyone's testimony.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, 2 men came forward who declared, "This man said, I am able to destroy the temple of God and rebuild it in 3 days."
Okay, stop right there. They could not find anything. Listen, Jesus is on trial in our generation, but they cannot find anything to come to a verdict. So because the world cannot find anything, what other option do they have? False witness. But guess what? False witness is not going to stand. Because with false witness, you know it's false witness. In the court of law, when somebody lies, sometimes it's so obvious that they're lying. What other option do you have? You create something else, right? You look for something else. You see, what else can I come up with this? See, when Jesus is on trial in our generation, there's nothing that they can find wrong about him. Because the only reason they have problem with Jesus is because of their sinful desires. Because they want to do whatever they want, however they want. And something about Jesus, whenever Jesus is brought up, it just erodes in them. So they just bring Jesus on trial. So the only way to be able to stand this Jesus is to take his word. Just change it. Just twist it. Twist his word. Change his word. Come up with a new discipline. Come up with a new faith. Come up with something different. That's the only way. Is change his words. Is to change his words. And that is what's happening today. Somebody will do something and they'll pull out the Bible. Yeah. Who said getting drunk is a sin? Come, I'll show you. Come, I'll show you. Who said you can't have fun before you got married? Come, I'll show you. Who said you can't have more than one wife? Hey, come, I'll show you. I mean, listen. the words of God, because people cannot stand the innocence of Christ. They will take his words and they will twist it. And I hope you're not one of those people. They'll take his word and they will twist it in order to feed their flesh. And so they stand there accusing. And not only do they do that, but they try to get a crowd to back themselves up. Because somehow you're doing it yourself, it still burns you, because there's so much innocence about Jesus Christ. But if you can get Delphino, if you can get Mary, if you can get somebody else on your side, and becomes like a group thing, somehow it's okay. And so you don't feel much guilt about this Jesus. You kind of feel like it's okay now. I can control this little Jesus. But listen, when you change Jesus' words, it doesn't change Jesus. It just puts you on the wrong side that you don't want to be on. See, the problem is that it makes you be on the wrong side, and you feel like you're on the right side, but you're on the wrong side. Jesus is on trial. You're the jury. You're the jury. Keep going. 62.
Then the high priest stood up and said to Jesus, "Well, aren't you going to answer these charges? What do you have to say for yourself?"
Okay, listen to this. The first accusation is that he said he was going to do what?
Destroy the temple.
Okay. Do you know how massive that temple was? I can say, I'm going to go to Washington and I'm going to destroy the White House. Come get me. Somebody come arrest me. I just say I'm going to go to Washington and I'm going to destroy the White House. Come get me. That statement is a joke. How in the world will I get to the White House? How in the world will I destroy that place? By myself. Even with your help. We got nothing. We are nothing. That place is secure with snipers and dogs and who knows what. I don't need to see a sniper. I don't need to see a soldier with a weapon. All I need to see is a dog, and you won't see me there. Once I see a dog, I'm like, you know what? It's okay. I was just walking by. We're okay. I'm cool. We're fine. I'm just turning around. I was just making a tour. Just want to see how Trump was doing. See if he was okay. I'm okay now. You see what I'm saying? Jesus said that he's going to destroy. Who can? The temple? Massive. That doesn't stand a place. And so the high priest has the guts, because the high priest is driven with, they're so challenged with this Jesus, because Jesus is challenging the church and the way they were doing ministries and things like that. And so because of that, these people, it has shaken them, and so they want to eliminate him at every cost. So they're like, Jesus, they're like, hey, what are you going to say about this accusation? Did you say you're going to destroy the temple in 3 days? Did you say you're going to do that? And so, 63, Yeti, go ahead.
63. But Jesus remained silent. The high priest said to him, I charge you under oath by the living God.
Yeah.
Tell us if you are the Messiah.
Wait.
Son of God.
Wait a minute. We were talking about the temple. Now, where did this Messiah thing come from? I charge you by the living God. Are you the Messiah, the Son of the living God.
I am
Listen to
Lord.
me. Listen to me. When you're in the court
All the above.
and they bring up, and everybody is against you, and you know the right answer to answer so that they don't put you in jail, even if you're innocent, but you know the right answer to say so they don't put you in jail, would you say it?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Wait.
If you know the right answer, so they don't put you in
So they
jail.
don't put you in jail.
Yes,
You
even
know
if
what
it's
I'm
not the right answer.
saying? If you know what they want, you do it.
Yeah, and it's not right answer.
As a human, I'll be like, yeah.
So listen, this question asking, are you Messiah, are you the Son of the living God? The simple answer for Jesus to say, in order they can let him go, is to be quiet, right? He was quiet the first time, right? Why should he not be quiet for this question? Because I mean, listen, this you're being accused. You're at night. There's no one there. It's only Peter. And Peter's lost in the crowd. You can't even see Peter. It's just like most Christians nowadays, they're so lost in the crowd. Nowadays, you can't tell the difference who's a Christian, who's not a Christian. We come to church, we praise, hallelujah, amen. You go to school, nobody knows who you are anymore. Or not at school, just travel a little bit. You go to another state, like nobody knows me here. Woo! All right? That's how Pastor says it. You go and you do all this stuff. Nobody can see me. Nobody from my church here. Nobody can judge me. I'm free. Man, I haven't been like this in a long time.
Don't have to post it.
It feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good. I need to do this all the time and go on vacations to get away from those crazy church people. I mean, Peter just dissolved in the crowd. Nobody, I mean, so Jesus, they asked him, I charge you by the name of the living God. Are you Messiah? Are you the Son of God? Jesus was quiet when they asked him about the temple. But this term right here, are you the Messiah? This can change everything. Can change everything. But can you imagine? I don't know about you, but regardless of what Jesus says, these people are determined to kill him. They've already made up their mind. See, listen, even now in our culture, regardless what we say or what you do about Jesus, this generation is already to kill Jesus. They want nothing to do with Jesus. Nothing. Nowhere. Nothing. Nothing to do with Jesus. They want nothing to do with Jesus. And so because we're trying to please the generation, we're trying to please people, we're trying to speak softly and change our words and give them what they want to hear and tell them what they want to listen because we want to please them. But we can't please them and still walk with Jesus because we have to make a decision. If we want to be with Jesus, then we need to be with Jesus. We need to stand with Jesus. If you want to be with the world, then we need to be with the world. You cannot be in both places and say you are just trying to protect Jesus. I'm protecting Jesus by telling these people what they want to hear because I don't like what they're saying about Jesus. So because I don't like what they're saying about Jesus, I'm gonna say what they want to hear about him. I'm just gonna tell them what they want to hear. I'm gonna act and behave the way they expect me to. Because if I do, then they will leave Jesus alone. Jesus is not calling you to defend him. Jesus is not calling you to defend him. Jesus is calling you to stand with him. Peter cut the ear of one of the soldiers. And Jesus takes it and he puts it back. He says, if I want, I can call angels right here on earth and defend me. And they'll come immediately and defend me. That's what Jesus said. You can't defend Jesus. You can't. You need to stand with Jesus. You need to stand with Jesus. You need to walk with what he says. You need to believe what he says. You need to walk according to his word. But I think most of us, we spend more time trying to defend him. And trying to defend him means trying to change our words in order to please the culture. You get me? So that they can accept you, but at the same time, you can walk with Jesus. So you're like this. You're split in places. When you feel like you need to defend Jesus, what you're really doing is you're putting yourself into both places. Because you want to stand with the world, and at the same time you want to stand with Jesus. Are you the Son of God, the Messiah? What does Jesus say here? 65.
64.
64.
You have said so. You have said so. Jesus replied. But I say to all of you, from now on you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven.
Now, listen. Not only did he say that you got it right, I'm the Messiah. He said, no, let me tell you the way it is, okay? Hey, not only am I the Messiah, but one day you're gonna see me come on the clouds with glory and power. Listen, sometimes we spend too much time and energy trying to defend Jesus to people who don't want to hear anything about him. Listen, because you can go and talk to these people and try to defend Christ and but they are so ready to kill him. They're so ready to destroy him. And so many times, instead of us talking and doing all this, we need to show them who we are. We are busy doing this and less really walking it. And it's the walking that makes difference, because sometimes when we talk it, they're looking at the way we walk. They're like, wait, that little girl over there talking about God, about Jesus, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. Look how they're living their life. So we're busy defending Jesus, but our walk doesn't look nothing like Jesus. Nothing like Jesus. Jesus wants us to walk, stand with him, because that's what sets us apart from everybody else. Because Jesus is on trial. People have to know where you stand. Don't go in a court where nobody knows where you stand. Does this person stand with a guilty person? Does he stand with the innocent person? You're just in the when you know how they have sections. They have the defendant and the prosecutor, right? And so you are like sitting in the middle right there. You're like, I'm the peacemaker. I'm the peacemaker. No. Jesus is the peacemaker. You decide that you're going to follow him. And so you got to stand with him and by him. Hallelujah. Praise the name of Jesus. So those words that Jesus said, and we're not going to finish reading this. Those words that Jesus said, that was it. That was it. Caiaphas, the high priest, he just went and tore his robe, and he said, blasphemous. What else do we need? That was it. That word was enough to come to a verdict. That word itself was enough to come to a verdict. Hey, listen to me. It's the same word today, in our time, that is being fought. Is Jesus the Son of God? Is Jesus the Messiah? Is Jesus coming back in glory, in power? Is he? Is Jesus who he really say he is, Fiete? Is he? And that is where the world and the culture and our systems, everywhere we are, that is the same accusation that is being brought up to the table every single time. It will never end until we're taken up to heaven. But you, as a child of God, you must have a decision. You have to decide where you stand. instead